Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
Patriots Unfiltered!
All right. Just a hard open here. Welcome to Tuesday's edition of Patriots Unfiltered. We are here at Gillette Stadium. Patriots had their second day of full pads practice. It's in the books. We'll be joined later on in the show by Khyiris Tonga, who stopped by right after practice and sat down with Paul and I. But let's get right to it. It's Mike Dussault, Evan Lazar, Paul Perillo, myself. Alex is in the booth today. And let's talk about what we saw.
I thought it was a good day for the defense, not the best day that we've seen from camp from the offense and Drake. I thought it wasn't really about the pressure to me. Felt like Drake was a little off, not his best practice, and it felt like a lot of the coverage was really good on the receivers, which was surprising considering that Christian Gonzalez, and Carlton Davis were not at practice. You thought maybe they'd be able to take advantage of some of those guys down the depth chart playing at cornerback, but not really. It seemed like the offense was stumbling a little bit. They did have their moments in the red zone. There were a handful of plays that they made well, but overall, defense won the day.
Yeah.
I would agree with Mike. Yeah. It was a lot of red zone work, so that does make some of the windows obviously tighter and a little bit more difficult. But I thought he had some opportunities. One in particular that really stood out was a throw that I thought he just sort of led too far. A Hunter Henry in the back corner of the end zone. It wasn't without some highlight throws too.
He had a really nice throw to Diggs. He threw him open. Then he threw one in the bucket to Kyle Williams in the end zone, which was a really nice pass. So. There were some good plays, too.
And in fairness to me, I thought the receivers had some opportunities to make some plays for him that didn't. Williams being one of them, I thought, failed to catch, I thought, a pretty accurate throw. The one to Booty really stood out to me. It was kind of layered in between the coverage on the sideline. Good throw. Really top-notch throw for me. I thought Booty was pretty active today.
A couple good runs,
thought he was targeted
too.
more. He had a great block by – sorry, Ev. Booty had a great block on a toss sweep to Stevenson on one of those red zone plays.
You watched the blocking?
He sprung the guy for a touchdown.
It was a nice run. I that one was a good one. A nice toss play and to Campbell's side, seal the edge, and I think Jack Westover was out in front of that one as well. But I agree with the guys. I think it was controlled by the defense for the most part, but I think it should be when you're down in the tight red zone. You're inside the 10-yard line trying to throw the ball into the end zone. Usually those types of practices favor the defense in that situation. So, again, you take the 4 or 5 throws that he made that were highlights, and you can put that on a highlight reel and say he looked great. Or you could say, he had, I think he was about 50% completion rate, so there were 7 incompletions that you could look at those too. But I think the biggest thing just from 2 days in pads that I've come away with is that the 2 rookie offensive linemen look like they can play. And that's a really exciting development for that group. And Will Campbell and Jared Wilson both looked the part so far. And I thought Jared Wilson was really, really good today, especially in one-on-ones.
He was just, engaging his guy and just stoning him, whoever it was.
Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, too.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about, down the depth chart here at the defensive tackle position. So my excitement level for those 2 guys is at a 10. My concern level for some of the veteran players that they brought in free agency is maybe getting a little bit higher. Morgan Moses left practice today with something, and I don't think he's looked great. Milton Williams at times hasn't necessarily stood out either. So I'd like to see a little bit more from those guys, but the rookie linemen look terrific so far, so that's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I still say, we had Tonga in here, and he said, we're going full speed. We're not going to the ground, but we're going full speed. I just still don't think it really is. You're not
up front.
Yeah,
really.
I think they're moving at full speed, but there's not that intention to be too violent. Oh. I do.
So evidently, you have to temper your enthusiasm.
Yeah, I put a little caution on all of this so far. I mean, we're 2 days into pads. Give me the joint practices next week, and then I think we can start to form more concrete opinions.
Yeah, and I'll say this about Milton Williams. I don't think Milton Williams is necessarily a flashy rusher. I think his go-to move is speed to power. And I don't know if like that type of stuff is really, he's not like one of these defensive tackles that's like spinning and ripping and doing all these crazy moves all the time. Like that's not really his game. So I kind of look at him as more of like a game player than a practice player. And I'm not like concerned that Milton Williams is going to be a bust or anything like that. Moses, though, it worries me. Like he's 34 years old. He's coming off a major knee injury from last season that he played through. And he's been in and out, and he hasn't looked great when he's been in. So it's just something that's on my radar. And, Deuce's guy, Trey Jacobs, is taking a lot of those reps at right tackle, and Moses isn't there. So they don't really have a great solution to that problem if it's not Morgan Moses. So it's just something to monitor.
I was going up the elevator with one of Paul's guys. I won't mention his name, but he's like, worried about our left tackle. Very concerned. And this is before practice. And I was like... Okay, I said he's going to be fine. I don't know. It's like,
I mean, as it's shaping up to me right now, I think I might have bigger questions about the center and left guard position than I do about the tackles. Not to say I don't have questions about the right tackle position for sure, but we've gotten to a point right now where I'm like, geez, I hope Will Campbell is good and can provide some kind of stability, because right now I don't know what the season-long answer is at center, at left guard.
So far, like I've seen one rep in one-on-ones where Keon White beat him. That was yesterday. Yeah. Today, he looked fine.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, he won both his reps today. Should mention one against Keon, one against Chazon. Chazon got him a couple times, and one early, one late, and in sort of more team periods.
Yep.
But I think what you're seeing from Campbell is what I expected. He's already, in my mind, a really good run blocker. Like, I think he's going to be a great run blocker right out of the gate. The pass protection, I think it's more about adjusting to his limitations and how that's going to work at this level, and how he's going to protect against his length and all that kind of stuff, and sort of learning how to keep guys out of his frame and keep guys, especially that are speed rushers that can turn the corner tightly like a Chazon. Like, how do I get out to those guys without compromising the inside?
Yeah, he's got to rely on his athleticism and his quick feet.
Yeah.
Right. So how can he set out to get his hands on a Chazon when Chazon speed rushes off the edge, but then you don't want to open the inside and lose your leverage, so you have to kind of find that sweet spot that he's sort of still working on, I would say. But like I said, Wilson and Campbell really excite me. Like, I think those two guys are headed in the great direction. Right now, if anybody on the line worries me, it's right tackle. Like, I think they'll figure out the interior, and I think Campbell's going to be fine. But overall, this practice was more about the passing offense than it was about the line. I didn't think the line was a problem today, and I thought it was more about the receivers and the quarterback.
Yeah, and I'd just pull on the thread on focus on him. I think he's been a really nice surprise. I talked a lot about my concerns on, the edge guys and the leadership he's brought, the way he was answering questions the other day. I've seen some of the veteran mentorship, so I'm working with Trey Jacobs a little bit on the field after practice. I think he's poised to have a really good season. It seems like that Vrabel was asked about him a couple days ago, and first round pick, never really lived up to it in Jacksonville, had a pretty good year last year in Vegas. So I think he's been a real surprise. And one other guy I just think we need to highlight, because I've been hard on him, is Javon Baker. I think he's kind of started to poke his head out a little bit the last couple days and make some plays. It seems like he's earning a few more opportunities with the upper level reps that he wasn't necessarily getting a week ago. So he's a guy to me that is maybe, and Jalen Polk caught a pass today as well, but I think Javon Baker maybe making a little bit of a push here, which he needs to do. He needs to take advantage of the opportunities.
Yeah, Chazon's been their best edge rusher, I'd say, through 6 practices. He's been the most noticeable guy, winning the pass rush, got Campbell with a cross chop today, which is his go-to move. Like, he's looked really good. Now, a lot of this is pass-heavy practices. He's a pass rusher. That's his role. So you expect him to be able to stand out. But I'm with Deuce on that. I think he's probably been the most noticeable player on defense besides, when Barmore gets in there, Barmore wrecks the game. He just takes over. But
Barmore is...
Chazon's been good.
And also worth mentioning, too, through these practices that it seems the coaching staff is taking efforts to manage Barmore just a tiny bit. Now, he played almost all of it today, which was a good sign, but the earlier days pads, he would come out a little bit more. So I think they're just being precautious with him and the blood clots thing, making sure that doesn't come back. But oh my God, Evan's right. He's a force in the middle, and it makes me, we think we spent so much time focusing on Milton Williams. It's like, if Christian Barmore starts to really get back to what we thought Christian Barmore could be before last year and everything got derailed, I mean, he might be the best player on the whole defense if he's able to fully come back. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, We mentioned Keon White earlier. He seems a step quicker to me than he was last year. Not as stiff.
Yeah.
A little bit faster around the edge.
And maybe part of the scheme too of just going and getting it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it could be.
Could be part of it. And he's a key guy, and had my eye on him a lot. I'm curious how he, translates. He always looks tough. I think he had an interior rep today. I forget.
He had a couple against the backup guards today that he just took
out.
their lunch money. Yeah, it was good to see that. But we know he can rush on the guards. Like that's a really big strength of his. The edge rushing, he's openly admitted that he's not as good out there, outside the tackles. So I think he's looked okay at times, but there's other times where Campbell's gotten him. But that's been a great one-on-one there. Like it's been every practice. It's been Campbell versus Keon White, and iron sharpens iron, hopefully, and those two guys have been going at it.
Yeah, but as we said before, I would say, and I agree with Evan, the person who's making the biggest push right now is Jared Wilson.
Yeah. I mean, and they need him to, and there's no question why they're giving him every opportunity, because if he can provide that stability at just one of those spots, I mean, we were talking about it. Maybe it's asking a lot for a rookie to come in at center. I mean, David Andrews, another Georgia guy, did do it, but still, I think he's got the talent and the athleticism to contribute and stabilize the line.
I love his athleticism, no question. And then Bradbury got banged up late in practice, so that's something to keep an eye on going forward. Bradbury didn't do the conditioning runs at the end with the rest of the team, so maybe tomorrow you see Jared Wilson right from jump.
Looked like Bradbury got stepped on in a pile, so hopefully it's just that. But with Wilson, at this point, if it continues this way with Wilson, I don't know how he's not starting. I just don't know where.
Just take your lumps a little bit.
Right, like I am not sure if it's going to be left guard or center, but if he plays this well throughout the entire camp, then he's got to be starting.
Yeah, it's really Fred, real quick. Just yesterday was really hot. Today was really hot. Full pads. Like this little trio of practices, guys leaving. You said guys looking hot afterwards, like they're about to collapse. Really going to be a challenging practice tomorrow, I think. Like mental toughness, and that to me sets a great stage for Drake May, because a lot of the throws Drake missed today, I felt like I've seen him make that throw. Some of them I didn't really get like, whoa. It just seemed to me a little bit like he was off. And hopefully tomorrow, similar conditions, it's hot. Hopefully he can bounce back, because it's going to be, I think, a similar practice script again too.
One of my things with May that I've noticed is it's almost backwards. He makes his better throws while moving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When he's kind of clean in the pocket and just regular pocket passer, I think sometimes he loses his accuracy a little bit.
Yeah,
which is odd, because you guys mentioned the protection wasn't really an issue today, and I thought he was a little bit off.
So it's like a guy who can hit his runner, but he can't hit free throws.
Right. I was noticing a little bit of the pump pull down a little bit.
Jerky.
Just want to see clean motion, throw, boom, it goes. But I think Drake will be okay. I think this ultimately is probably a good practice, because they're probably turning the screws on him right now and saying, wasn't a great day for him. But I think that's what training camp is. It's ups and downs, and there are going to be games that are down like this too. You're going to have to bounce back. So it's a nice stage set for tomorrow, though, for him.
We mentioned Davis and Gonzalez out. Davis has been out. Gonzalez left practice yesterday with something with his leg. Jordan Schultz is reporting that it's a hamstring, and that his September isn't in jeopardy because of it. So I don't know where he's getting his information from, but let's hope he's right.
Well, I mean, Gonzalez popped his head out at the end of practice. I think a lot of the reporters saw him, and his leg was still attached. He was still walking, so I think he's going to be okay. But it's just less than ideal.
They say he wasn't limping, so that means he didn't completely tear it. He probably just tweaked it. And he precaution. Just want to make sure that.
Well, I mean, I'm in the Paul Perillo school of hamstring injuries scare me a little bit.
Oh, it's always
they just linger.
Too
many guys.
They don't worry me at all.
It's the cranberries. You got to let it linger.
See, they worry me for speed guys.
Yeah.
Like that's if you're like a guard and you pull a hamstring, I'm okay with that. But when you're a corner or a receiver and you rely on your legs, those can linger.
I mean, in season, sure, because obviously that would cause you to potentially miss games.
Yeah, this time of year, I'm not as concerned about it.
I'll see you week one, Gonzo.
Yeah,
I
was about to say, don't push it, because that's what happens. You get these soft tissue, they try to get on, and then you re-injure it. Just
that's
let them
why
sit.
they worry me.
Yeah.
This time of year, you don't have that
pull back
sort of urgency to get back out there, and you don't have the. I don't think he'll be tempted to say, well, I don't want to miss the preseason games. No. Like,
Right.
you have
Hope he
plenty of
doesn't
time.
play anyways in the preseason
Right.
games,
You
even
have
if he
three.
was
You have
healthy.
3 full weeks, 4 weeks.
For all we
you
know, this
yeah.
is by design. No, I would never.
You know,
never do
you have
that.
like, actually closer to 5 weeks now, like before you need them to be ready. So I'm not concerned at all. Not really at all right now.
I just say, I mean, it's a little bit of a disappointing start for the free agency class overall.
Yeah.
You know, that to me is what's sticking out a little bit. Like to see a little bit more from that group on the field so far. It's been up and down. Guys have been missing time.
Well, it's so
It's been a mixed bag.
a guy
I
like
think Landry's
Spillane,
been
how do you
good.
know?
Spillane, I think, has been active and good. I
Yeah.
think Diggs has been better
was gonna
than
say
we all
Diggs.
sort of
Yeah.
hoped. I think Carlton Davis would be sort of down.
Well, I guess you're right when you put it that way, Paul. I guess it goes to what we said after
It's
2021.
college
that-
tuition, Paul. It's a whole different guy.
But you're right,
not
and
a whole
that's how we looked at 21, though, in hindsight.
You notice
where-
how quiet I
and
was
we
in
said
that
it
for a
even
second,
going
huh?
into this year that not all these guys are going to work out, and I think it's sometimes you start to get. And then look, this just start a week of practice. It's not, we haven't written everything about them, and Paul's right to highlight the positive of those guys, but I think Morgan Moses has been in and out of practice. Carlton Davis hasn't really practiced.
Yeah.
Those two guys stand
Mixed
out
bag,
to me
absolutely.
as guys that we're really hoping for. So hopefully they can get back. And I don't know what the plan is with
Well,
Moses. Seems like they've been
it's-
working on it for a while.
You're going against your own guys. So if Morgan Moses has been dominant, that'd have been great. But it's like, well, Chaseon's not doing anything. He
Yeah.
can't do anything. You know.
Yeah.
So like,
No,
again,
it's good in the bag.
you can't get too pumped up. You can't get too down right now. Let's just give it some time. We're less than a week into training camp. Let's see what happens next week when the Commanders come here and guys are playing. I think just that little extra juice because you're going against players from another team.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens in that one.
The corners don't worry me at all. Like, all right, Gonzo, you got that guy. Carlton, you got that guy. Like,
Yeah.
I'll see you in September.
So
Like-
just
like, I
one
just-
slight caveat to that. I would agree everything about the schematic aspect of what you
They
just said.
don't have anything to learn. Like, they're getting
Carlton
the guy in front
Davis
of you.
has durability issues in his career. He misses
Yeah.
games every year. So I'm not necessarily
Right, but how much
excited
is
about the
that?
fact that he's banged up.
Right, and now
Right, but
it's-
how much is that as the sports science saying?
I have no idea.
If we go easy on him in training camp, like maybe that'll give him some more longevity once the games come around. I just think it's different when you talk about corners specifically, especially man corners, where like there's no scheme that they're learning. Like they don't have to
No,
learn.
I'm not worried
anything.
about the schemes at all.
Right, like
for
it's
those
not
guys.
like some of these other guys that are learning a new system, like receivers. Like they have to learn and build chemistry with the quarterback and learn routes and learn, timing and anticipation and all those little things. Like corners, it's just you're on an island, you got your guy, and that's all it is.
I'm going to give you a little pushback here because they got to go to Miami week 2, and they got to go chase around those two guys. And I
that's-
just hope that
but
they're in
that's
shape
physical.
and ready to
not
go.
good dealing with hamstring issues. to be
But
chasing
that's a
those guys
physical
around?
concern, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm saying, like
Yeah.
if they have to shut
Yeah.
Konzo down for a couple weeks of practice, he's not like missing anything that he's supposed to be learning.
Sure. Mentally, I guess
Right.
I'm saying more the physical aspect of just,
Yeah.
are you
Well,
ready to go chase
certainly
Tyreek
Miami
Hill?
can be taxing, and Massachusetts tax-free weekend is coming up. You can pre-select your favorite pieces with Bob's Discount Furniture now. Score everything from game day ready power recliners, dining sets, bar carts, and servers for all your halftime snacks. Even fan favorite Bobopedic mattresses for your rest and recovery routine. And remember, Bob's Discount goes even further on tax-free weekend. So stop in, shop online, or reach out to Bob's Squad to lock in those savings now with Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store of the New England Patriots. So tax-free weekend coming up. You guys got any plans for tax-free weekend? Any big purchases, Paul? No?
Jeez.
No.
No?
I say, Fred, that segue was a work of art.
You love that, yeah. You didn't know it was coming. I
I knew something was coming.
gave you a
I just didn't know
curveball.
what.
Gave you a curveball.
The tax-free weekend to me, though, is like I have a big purchase, like something from Bob's. Like I need to purchase a piece of furniture. This is the weekend to do it.
Or
But,
you
like,
could go to
it's-
New Hampshire and do it any day of the
right,
week.
right. But
What are you doing?
I'm only kidding.
But it's not like you're going like, oh, I'm gonna go do some clothes shopping, and I mean, I don't think of it that way. But
Well, clothes aren't taxed in Massachusetts.
oh, really?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Food and clothes, no tax.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Food.
I don't think there's, well, restaurants, but not in the grocery store.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
meal tax.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But not in a grocery store. So, anyway. Yeah, that's Bob's Discount Furniture. All right, 855-PASS-500 is the hotline. Podcast at patriots.com is the way to email us. Anything else we want to cover on practice before we open it up?
I feel like we should just mention the kickers.
Oh, yeah.
Yesterday,
Andy
Parker Romo.
Borregales, 6 for 6.
Apparently.
We think.
Ish.
They were a little...
I got a confirmation that from Mike Reese, who checks with a member of the coaching staff. He says he did, in fact, it's confirmed 6 for 6. If I had to put my mortgage on it, I would say he missed the 5th one, but they're going 6 for 6.
Funny.
So.
We didn't watch the practice together, but we saw it the same way. Those last 2 kicks looked like the first 3, 4.
First 4
look good.
That's what you're looking
the
for.
The last 2.
You know what I think would be fun? Vrabel
like a little bit of a draw.
Yeah.
Like every practice at the end, he either pulls somebody from the media or somebody from the crowd to be the person and do the. That would be fun.
Eric Alexander used to do that for us. Remember?
Oh, I remember.
He would always stand under the
goalpost,
and he would come forward like he was like one of those Australian rules football guys.
Right.
He would and then go.
Yeah.
Right.
I like the 2 though, where you look at each other, you do the nod, and then
He
you
would
both
do it. He would point, and there'd be nobody there. He would point, nod, and then
I do think it's interesting how they split up the kicker reps now. It's like yesterday was a Romo day and today was a Borregales day, instead of having them go one after another within the practice, because I feel like there's a little bit more pressure, right? When
it's all you.
Borregales goes from 41 and then Romo goes, and if he makes it, then it's kind of like a PK shootout, right? Where it's a little bit more pressure. Now they're giving all of the reps to one kicker per day instead of doing it the other way.
It feels still very straightforward this year with the kicking drills, but I remember last year where they had everybody lining around them and screaming at them and trying to disrupt them. I mean, it's the same special teams coaches. I wonder if they'll get back to that, if they've gotten away from that, if it's going to continue to.
Snaps have been good though, which something I've been noting.
We haven't noticed
the operation.
I haven't noticed any issue at all.
I haven't said Julian Ashby's name once, which is a good sign.
So you have to make a decision right now. Who do you keep?
Borregales. I think it's close enough that you give it to the rookie.
But
you put the other guy on the practice squad just in case, keep him on ice.
Yeah, I think if you can.
I mean, I guess I'll be the turd in the punch bowl. I think we're almost kicked better.
I would agree, but I don't think that it's so different that I'm cutting a guy I drafted this year to keep Parker Romo, who I do think would probably make it to the practice squad unless he has like some crazy kicks in preseason or something.
I would also say that the coaching staff is certainly dealing with a lot more information in terms of what Parker Romo is, at this stage of his career. I'm just judging it off of 6 days.
Right.
That's not how these decisions get made.
Yeah.
No.
On the 6 days, to me, there has been a discernible difference. I think Romo kicks them normally every time, and Borregales has at least a couple every day that don't look right.
Knuckleballs,
even ones that go through.
Yeah.
So, based on that, I would say Romo, but that's not, like I said.
Yeah.
They have a whole, backlog of, information on Romo and why they drafted Borregales. They might say, it's a little bit of a struggle after a week, but it'll work itself out.
No, but that's interesting.
The wobbly ones are a good point. Like even if they go through,
he made 2 today that I would not feel great about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right. You hit those wobbly. When they go through, that means you have a lot of power behind it, and you're hitting through the mishit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not a good sign.
Especially once the weather starts to turn and it's cold or snowing.
Like there's been no weather. There's no wind.
That,
that's really affected. Maybe one day the wind may have had an effect on some of the longer kicks, but not much.
Yeah.
It's been pretty hot and humid. Good kicking conditions.
We should mention, thoughts go out to the people at the NFL offices and everyone in that building at Park Avenue yesterday with what happened, particularly the loss of life from the police officer. Just not a good scene over there. And I know NFL.com or their social, they've gone dark today. They're not posting because if you were there, that's kind of a scary time.
Yeah.
You had a shelter in place and hide.
Yeah. And apparently the guy took the wrong elevator. Otherwise, he was going for the NFL offices. He, the reports are that he had a note in his pocket about CTE and this whole thing. So. Yeah, so not a good situation. All right. 855-PATS-500 is the hotline. Let's get it open to you. We'll start with Todd in Gardner. What's up, Todd?
Hey, guys. I've been loving the camp coverage, but I've got a quick question. Previous years, you guys would shut the camera down, but you'd stay and watch and give us kind of play-by-play, a little bit of highlights. I know you couldn't tell us exactly like routes or anything, but that was really great just to hear the inflections in your voices, the excitement, the disappointment from time to time too. And you guys aren't doing that this year. Is there a reason why? Did they ask you not to?
No, they didn't ask us not to. We decided not to because I didn't feel it was very good content. Not a lot of people were actually listening at that point. We, the numbers wise, we know how many, and so like there was a big drop off. So we just didn't think it was worth it.
It also ate into how much we could actually watch and analyze practice because you're worried about not having dead air and trying to relay stuff, whereas now we can really focus on it and then come in either here or in the camp cast and get into what the details were that happened rather than, oh, that was a big play by Gonzalez. We can't tell exactly what happened, but yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And plus there's like WEEI and some of the other guys that are live casting and you can watch there or something. So I guess there are other options. I just prefer you guys. All right. Great show, guys. Take care.
Okay. Thanks, Todd.
Thanks, Todd.
Well, anyone else that's doing it live, they can't be showing anything, I hope. So.
No, their cameras are on
right,
them.
on them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Mike's on Long Island. What's up, Mike?
Hey, gentlemen. How we doing?
All right.
Ready to do the brunt read yet?
What did he say?
I didn't hear
Say that again?
Did you do the brunt read?
The Brunt read?
Oh, not yet, but we will. Mike, you work for Brunt?
No, I just, the Boots rule. Anyway. So all this book talk the last couple weeks and the Jaws talk. I've been wanting to call in, haven't been able to. But I read the book, the Jaws book. And it's way better than the movie.
Well,
Yeah,
Okay.
like an affair going
All
on.
right.
And
Well, we're not talking Jaws today, but thanks, Mike.
I might be the first person I've ever heard say that. I know a lot of people that have read the book.
I
and
read
they
the
thought-
book.
And they thought the book was, the movie was
it was like
actually
mafia
better.
ties and all that.
Yeah,
kind of
they
stuff.
had all kinds of like this
Yeah.
complicated affair.
Yeah.
Hooper has an affair with Brody's
Hooper
wife.
has the affair.
There's like mafia ties, and the mayor is like compromised.
I read the book, and the movie is much better.
Yeah,
That's what I hear more often than not.
Yeah.
I will say though, I am about halfway through Casino Royale. I've jumped into my first James Bond book, and interesting. It's very
Ian Fleming.
short. Yeah, it's nice to just read a James Bond and just interpret him as a character and not think about like Sean Connery or any of the guys that acted him. So it's very, very short, very sparse book. That was what was interesting to me. So I'll full report for everybody.
Okay. All right. Sounds
But
good.
Casino Royale is the first book. They didn't make that one until Daniel Craig. So I was like, why they mix up with Connery back in the 50s? Like the books were written in the 50s, and then they jump right into like book 5 was the first one.
All right. We'll get into that.
Sorry.
Fred's not happy with this.
No, I just want to get
derailment.
through the football. We just got out of
Sorry,
practice,
we'll do the
so I just want
football.
to make sure that we're talking football for a little bit before people
little
yell
bit.
at us.
Just a little bit.
Well, I had my eye though on obviously the cornerbacks, and Paul mentioned. Did you mention DJ James in this
James,
one?
yeah.
DJ James, Alex Austin, and Marcelo Stiles. So those are the guys behind the scenes that these injuries linger or they pop up during the season. These are the guys they're looking at. Alex Austin talked after practice, still talking to Uncle Willie McGinnis. Mike Reese asked him. He said Willie told him exactly what to expect from Mike Vrabel. So just looking for Alex Austin to start the year like he finished the last 2 years. He made, he had some good contributions at the end, battled injuries the start of these last 2 seasons. So hopefully he's able to mix in and provide some insurance behind Davis and Gonzalez.
Yeah, I don't know if Marcellus Dial's an outside corner, but he's played a little bit in the slot at the nickel spot, and he's looked pretty good there. Thought he had pretty good coverage on Hunter Henry a couple times today, and was really good against the run yesterday in that run-heavy practice. So I wonder, they talked a lot about big nickels and getting some more size there, and who's exactly going to cover tight ends when they do face a team like right out of the chute with Brock Bowers in week 1. Like who's going to cover him, and maybe Dial's somebody that can play more of like a slot nickel safety type of role. He's a good tackler, physical
Marcus
guy.
Jones too has had some injury issues like pretty much every year, so you need some insurance.
I don't know if I love him on the outside, but if that's the role they have in mind for Dial, I don't mind that.
That's an interesting point about Bowers, and we're probably a couple of weeks away from really sort of diving into that, but it's something that I have been thinking about. Because Marcus Jones is not big enough for that role, and I do think they need a corner on him. I don't like the idea of the safeties unless they just want to try to rough them up.
Yeah.
But I think that's a dangerous game you're playing. I don't know if Craig Woodson or Marcus Epps. I don't think those guys are necessarily, at that stage. You might need an Alex Austin or a Marcellus Dial, as Evan just mentioned.
Would you ever go Gonzo on him?
I would more wonder about Carlton Davis.
You could do that because it's really only Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
Like that's going to scare you, as a receiver. And he's not really even going to scare you. He's just a good professional receiver.
Yeah.
But they don't really have much else behind
Thornton,
Myers.
I think, is the rookie, right? Is that
Thornton Wilder?
Thornton Mellon.
Oh.
I wonder about
Dante
Carlton
Thornton.
Davis on Bowers. Like, long, physical corner, and Carlton Davis, maybe he plays Bowers, and then you put Gonzo on Jacoby Myers. And
good luck.
Yeah.
And then we win.
And, Marcus Jones.
And then we win.
On was Turner, fast, like, Pop Douglas type, right? So, like, I wonder if maybe that's the matchup. Like, Carlton Davis seems like the type of guy that could give Bowers some problems.
I mean, he's a special player. He's the kind of guy where you might need to get a little bit outside of the box, thinking that kind of thing to.
Yeah,
to
no,
take
I
him
think
out of
you
the game,
need someone with corner cover ability on him, and I
Yeah.
think Davis. That makes a lot of sense. What Evan
And
suggested.
you got to worry about Genty. Not that the Raiders are going to go and win 12 games as I'm hyping up all their skill players, but
They have good skill
They got
position
talent,
guys,
though.
though.
you're probably going to want to have a decent amount of guys in the box, 7-8 guys in the box against Genty, and
You just realize that the way we're looking at all these teams is the same way they're looking at us.
Yep.
As like, that's a winnable game. Every one of these teams we're saying the Raiders are a winnable game. The Raiders are saying the Patriots are a winnable game.
Yep. Emery writes in, red zone work, he puts in quotes, can mean a lot of different things. Was it 1st and 10 from the 20, 3rd and goal from the 5, first quarter, trailing in the 4th? Drake's incentive to force the ball or throw it away are massively different depending on the details.
Yeah.
Can you please expand on what red zone work meant today?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's I can give it right to you. They started 7-on-7 in the red zone, and then they moved into 11-on-11. The first portion was going from the 35 into the 18, and those were running through first, second, third downs consistently. The second one, they moved to the 18, did 4 reps there, and then the final one was red zone plus 12 to the plus 3, so right down to the end. But a lot of those were, like the touchdown throw to Diggs was a 3rd down touchdown throw. Couple of the groupings they had 4 reps, but for the most part it was first, second, 3rd down for Drake or for Dobbs, whoever was in there at those specific yardages. So you're totally right. That's good context to provide it. It was fair. It wasn't live scrimmage, but it was first, second, 3rd down, that side of the field. You're building up towards actual football.
I would just say that none of it was gotta have it plays. No. Like none of it was like he's just forcing it because doesn't matter if it's incomplete or not, the game's over. There were no situations like that.
You've never gotten the sense in this camp that's happened in camps before where it's Vrabel putting the ball in, all right, offense, whoever wins this gets push-ups. There hasn't been any of that kind of stuff either where it was
And I would also
competitive
say
just
that
to
it doesn't really matter what quarter it is.
No, yeah.
Unless, like I said, it's like the game is ending and it's, you lose if this is incomplete. You don't want to, throw it away.
Yeah.
You're forcing one in there. But these practice reps, doesn't matter if it's first quarter or 4th quarter, it's,
yeah.
They're trying to execute the
and
red
score
zone
points.
offense. Move the ball and score points. That's the job.
They did have some quarterback run stuff in there today that I thought was interesting, but
I don't know if we were talking about that. But yeah.
didn't go so hot, I would say. But that's again another thing that's going to take some timing and chemistry to build it, and the mesh points and all that fancy stuff. But it was I'm interested. I'm a little bit excited.
Dobbs was asked a little bit about it too. I don't know if you heard that, but
it's good that it's in there, and we'll see how much they actually end up using it. But I've been pounding the table for it, especially in the low red zone, like down by the goal line. Like he can just waltz right in if the end crashes. He's just gonna walk into the end zone. So you might as well have him be a threat to at least be able to do that. So we'll see how much of that they end up doing, but there was some of that today.
John writes in, and Paul will love this email. Are you guys only going to slam Drake May for 2 hours? He's been excellent every other day.
Well, I would say he wasn't excellent on Saturday. He was up and down on Saturday. I thought he was better than most other people thought he was, but I don't think he was excellent on Saturday under anybody's view. So we're going to comment on what he's like that day.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you that he was. Kyle Williams was really good on last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen a whole lot from him since.
Today was a better
Yeah,
day for
today
him.
was. He had a
I
couple.
thought he had a horrific back shoulder drop today on
did.
one of the best throws that May made.
He did have a drop.
Yep.
But he did catch it
into
fade.
the end zone. That one.
It was down. It was downfield. I don't know if it was in the end zone,
up
but
the
it was.
sideline.
Well, Paul, you're
was great
you're at
timing.
field level.
Yeah, and that's why
you have trouble seeing.
And that's why I saw it perfectly. He
Oh, you
hit
saw
him
it perfectly.
hit him right in the shoulder, and he dropped it.
Because one of our emails, you were saying how you don't like using binoculars. He was saying that they have a new thing that you might be interested in. They're
What's
called
that?
glasses
I wear glasses.
to see distance.
Yes. I mean, I wear contact lenses so I can see.
So then
Otherwise, I would
then
walk
why
into
do you have
walls.
trouble seeing?
That's a long way away.
So why don't you use the binoculars?
I don't like binoculars. I like to see everybody. I don't want to just see the two guys that you can see in the binoculars.
That's not how binoculars work, Paul.
That is
You
kinda
still
how
see
they
a whole
work.
bunch of things. You don't
zoom,
have to
you zoom in on one individual
You don't
thing.
have to. I see a whole line when I'm in my
And
binoculars.
I told the boys today that it was interesting that today, after we had the whole thing yesterday, they did everything down the far end of the field. And I was like, son of a
No,
bitch,
we were
they
laughing.
They could probably see a little bit better than me today. Now, I wouldn't have been able to see because it was even further away from up there.
So I do
But
have.
it's like you have a problem seeing 100 feet, so let's go 400 feet in the air so it's even further away. Like that's a good solution
So
to that.
I would
good,
take
good
things-
suggestion, Fred.
I would take things that Paul says with a little grain of salt because he's not really. He's
Evan,
he's
blurry.
looking through millions of people.
I know Evan watches the game, unlike you. Did you see the early? It was an early rep in team. It was maybe the second series of plays that Drake had. I thought the timing was perfect on a back shoulder throw that Kyle Williams dropped. Did you see that play?
Exactly what you're talking about. He dropped it.
It's interesting.
Second down.
There's only one guy here that didn't see it. You.
No, he saw it.
I saw it.
You
Oh,
sit
no, but
right
he
next
just
to me.
blocked it out of his memory
I
because
commented
it
on
was
it at
negative.
the time, did I not?
Yeah.
But not on the air. You're saying that I couldn't see it because I was at field
No,
level.
but you have trouble
I saw
seeing.
it perfectly.
You have trouble seeing. You admit it. You have trouble seeing.
I do have trouble
At a
seeing, but I
distance.
saw that.
So we have to, the negative ones. But some people have rose-colored. He has this like dark cloud-colored
Now,
glasses.
now I'm
Not anymore.
too negative.
Well, what else?
I've been getting made fun of for being too positive all camp. Now I'm too negative.
I have not.
positive, Paul.
I just the emailer don't want me to get. They can have their own takes. That's okay. But I think Drake's been fine. Like
I think he has been too.
I don't like. He hasn't completed every pass, but like I've seen exactly what I wanted to see out of him for the most part. Like he is not going to be Tom Brady. He's not going to complete 75% of the passes in a training camp practice. It's not the style.
I've had no
quarterback that he
issues
plays.
with Drake May. I don't think today was one of his better days.
I agree with you, but he's going to have those sprays. He's going to have the erratic throws, and he's probably going to have 3-4 of them a game that you're like, where was that one going? But then he's also going to drop one in the bucket to Pop Douglas 60 yards down the field off platform, and you're going to be like, oh, right.
Yep.
Like, that's why he's the third
A play
overall
that was
pick.
so good, I think I've written about it 3 different times.
Right. So, like, the throw to Booty at the end of practice, I thought was ending it on a high note. I thought he made a nice throw that Fred mentioned earlier, the feathered throw to Stephon Diggs, right over Craig Woodson.
Kyle Williams, the fade one. Where he
Perfect.
Did you
just,
see that one, Paul?
Yep.
Yeah.
But
Kyle Williams fade touchdown.
when they work in the
It's right there.
in the red zone, I
It's
think
not that hard.
But it has Tony told me.
Who's Tony?
That's right.
it's funny that this email, though, he's right in, so we would stop talking about it, and now we're just going to double down on talking about Drake's day.
I just I don't really have time for children. I really don't. Like, if you don't want to hear that, like, the offensive line has been an issue at times, don't listen. Just pretend it's not an issue. If you don't want to hear that Drake May made a lot of really good throws that were really tough on Saturday, but he also missed some, don't listen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to tell you not to listen. Obviously, we want everybody that we can, but I can't just make it up.
Right. No, I'm only kidding.
I know you.
And that's what's like funny is like Evan and I watched practice, and I walked down, like go right up to Paul, and what'd you think? And it's just like, yeah, we both watched the same practice. This is
Mike
what happened.
came down and he said,
for everybody. That
I know you
watches
can't say that
practice.
for everybody.
"Oh no, there's times where as I said on Saturday, I had all of those guys making fun of me." Because I thought because of the level of difficulty on some of the throws that Drake May was pretty good on Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody else that covered the practice thought he was really erratic. And I was like, it's kind of hard to complete a 25-yard over route with a guy in your grill.
Yeah.
Today, he didn't have guys in his grill as often.
Yeah.
So when he was missing some throws today, I was a little bit less forgiving on some of the misfires.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, he might be perfect.
Yeah.
And we'll say that he was perfect.
I just feel like, I think the scribes had him 7 for 14 today. And given where the field position was and where they were working, like I kind of expect a quarterback to go 7 for 14 when they're throwing the ball from the 3-yard line. Like those are going to be tight windows. Those are going to be hard passes to complete. So I'm not surprised that it wasn't perfect. And I don't think his accuracy is perfect. Like I don't think he's a precision quarterback.
It's so funny here in New England because other than Tom Brady, we've never had a top quarterback to watch in training camp. Cam Newton and Mac Jones. And,
don't forget about Bailey Zappi, though.
Yeah, so like I wonder what it looks like at other places for, like one of the better quarterbacks. Like what does the first week of practice look like for, a quarterback like a top 15 quarterback, let's say?
I mean, I just say real quick for me, like I've been surprised at how well Drake has looked through these early practices. I expected that there would be some hesitation, some not quite knowing where to go with it, that kind of thing. But he's been really good picking up the offense, it seems like, knowing where to go with the ball, being decisive. So the last couple days, and I'm probably a little bit more on the everybody making fun of Paul's side than Paul's side from Saturdays. I thought he was erratic and missed some throws. But again, today, like I thought a lot of those, I've seen him make those throws. And it's not like the offense looks like too much for him. It's not push the panic button. Anybody who's played sports, you ever have a bad day of practice where you felt a little off? Well, maybe that was what today was. But again, what I'm excited now is to see how does he bounce back tomorrow? How does he take this performance, which, again, the first thing Harold Landry says is the offense kind of took it to us, and the coaches were kind of on us. So now it's time for the offense to try to respond and get their butts in gear.
Rick in Riverside, Rhode Island, he has 2 points. Booty may not be a number 1, but he's solid and had some big plays last year. Do you see him benefiting from Josh's system and Diggs drawing more attention? I think he can be a 50-60 catch, 8 to 10 touchdown player. And his second point is the O-line looks much improved with a talent influx creating strong camp competition. Do you see Ramondre benefiting from a revamped O-line? I know he had the fumbles last year, but he is still a good to great running back. So the first point, what about Booty?
Booty, a nice practice day. I think Paul said a couple days ago, feels like he's a little bit of a slow starter. I think he's been a little bit more quiet than Diggs and Douglas have been through the early practices. But as Evan pointed out, he caught a TD to wrap up today, from Drake. Nice throw. So I think he's absolutely in the mix. I don't even really consider him on the bubble. We'll see how it develops over the course of the year. If Kyle Williams maybe is able to eat into some of his snaps,
I think
if he
he's
doesn't,
been good.
But he's been solid. Yeah, I mean, it's not flashy. He's not. But I think he's for the role that they need him for. I think he'll be pretty good.
8 to 10 touchdowns is a lot. I would say maybe you're closer to him potentially on the reception side. Like I don't necessarily watch Kayshon Boutte and think like red zone threat that all of a sudden he's going to start racking up a bunch of touchdowns. But I think that for the role that they want that X receiver to play, which in the past has been referred to as just like a sacrificial X, like you're basically just on the outside, taking the top off, occupying the deep safety. If you're one-on-one backside, you might get a target like that. That role, I don't see why he can't do that. I mean, hopefully down the line they can upgrade that spot, but for the time being, he's the best that they got.
What do you think about run blocking? Can you make any judgment yet?
It's been good. I think through 2 practices, it's 2 practices, so I think it's premature to make any big judgments. But like Campbell and Jared Wilson could really help their run blocking. They're both really good run blockers, really athletic players as well. So it kind of allows them to do some different things. Whether it's like tossing or getting up to the second level or pulling. Either one of those guys, like they have that athleticism and that movement skill. So I think they're going to be able to run the ball a little bit if this continues to progress in this direction.
And Campbell, he does seem like a mauler in the run game. He does.
Yeah.
Once he gets his mitts on a guy, it's all over.
He moves his feet well. He's aggressive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's go to the phones. James is in Belize. What's up, James?
Hey, Frank, can you hear me?
Yes.
You just put me back on hold. I don't want to talk about football.
Oh, okay. You don't want to talk about football? This is James
How do I
Pettigrew.
sound, first of all, because I'm calling you from the middle of nowhere?
Oh.
007, is that you?
I like it. What's up?
So Nothing much. I'm busy, visiting all the local bars to try and find the official Patriots bar here, trying to register the fan club, but obviously that takes a lot of information and things like that. So I just thought I'd check in and see how things are. I think mostly like Paul and Mike. So there are definitely fans who I think are the majority of us think like you. I'm cautiously optimistic about 8 wins. If I squint, I think I can see, maybe 10 wins, but, we'll see how it gets.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
Listen, if they have 8 wins, even 8 wins, and thanks, James, even 8 wins is 4 better than last year. And some things will have to go right. Now, obviously, 9 times they didn't. They ended up losing. But even to get to 8 wins, you're going to have to see a lot of improvement from last year.
Yeah. Yeah, I've talked to Mike Reese before practice. We've talked about it a little. It's just the last couple years, I felt optimistic last year too, and it's just trying to figure out, because right now I feel like this looks like a football team to me. It looks like an NFL football team that's going to win some games. I don't want to put a number on it, what it's going to be, but it looks like a team that's going to have an identity, that's going to have a play style, that's going to follow the lead of their head coach. But even like 2 years ago, you felt like, it hasn't been great, but we got Bill Belichick and it's going to come together. And, last year maybe was a little bit more, I'm maintaining an open mind, trying to be positive, but this is going to be something completely new. So I feel a little bit like I'm not quite sure what I believe anymore. Like I need to see and feel like if these guys come out and look solid.
You don't know.
He's like a kid who was told Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Right.
He's been hurt.
But I mean, you guys have watched plenty of teams, and I mean, you're probably a little skewed because you're watching, the greatest run in football history, and the other teams are probably like, more up and down, and some quarterbacks aren't just Tom Brady, where he just seems to keep getting better, and every year he's awesome, and some guys are like Russell Wilson, where it's good and it's bad and it's good and it's bad and it's bad and it's bad and it's good and it's bad, those kind of ups and downs. And when people ask us to predict like what we see, I feel really positive about the team that they're putting together up there. They might have some warts. They might not be the greatest team in the world yet, but I feel good about the team that they're building right now. I don't know what it's going to translate to, but I'm just hoping that I'm not, again, being the cockeyed optimist of, Mike Vrabel's running around and doing drills and everybody's saying all the right things, and then you get in the regular season and you're like, oh my God, we don't have the pieces.
I mean, honestly, since Brady left, Paul, and have we had a training camp time, a summer, and you get through into the September, where we said, wow, that was a great training camp. That was a great preseason. Yeah, this team's ready to go. Have we had that since Brady left?
Even with Brady, did you feel that way, though? I mean, do you still feel kind of like,
no,
I'm not
but with
quite
Brady,
sure about a few things with that?
There were a couple of times I did, but to be honest, no, I didn't always think like that. I mean, you knew they were good because they had him.
Right. And
but
that's the great. But you knew they might have holes. Like
07, they just looked like it was different. Like you could just tell that the team had a look that was really efficient and effective, and you could tell that that team was going to be.
They
really,
had things
really
that
good.
you hadn't seen before.
But I mean, when Brady was here, I always thought, well, it's going to be 12-4 minimum. Are they going to host the AFC Championship game? Deuce got very upset at that.
But you were probably saying the reason they're going to lose these 4 games in training camp is because
Correct.
I don't think we don't have the depth on the defensive line, or we can't.
Right. And this is what I used to argue with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien used to give Andy and I a hard time about it. Like, I don't know how you guys do it. I don't know how you guys come. And we explained to him, like, Billy, we're not saying that the team's not great. What we're saying is there something about the team that's going to cause you to have to go on the road in a big playoff game? And, and it would be something like that. Like, I don't know if they have enough depth at corner, like that nickelback spot, or, where are they going to get, the pass rush from, beyond X or whatever, something. It was never like, I don't know if they have a number 1 receiver. Well, I don't know if they have an answer at left tackle. It was never something like that. It was always like a depth-related secondary piece that, might be the difference between 12 and 14 wins.
Yeah.
Now we just want to get back to respectability.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the way I see what's been going on really since the spring is like, I feel like they're going to put 11 guys on the field that know what they're doing because of the coaching. Like, I feel like they're going to be coached correctly, and they're going to know their assignments, and they're going to play fundamentally sound. And I think that they're going to be able to do all that. Where the roster is and where that is are 2 different things. Like, there's all professional football players. So if you coach them right, they can get to that level of, like, we're competent.
Right.
Yeah. Right? But are they going to have the top end talent in certain areas? Are they going to have the depth in certain areas? I think that still remains to be seen.
I looking back, I feel like I looked at certainly 2019, my first season here, when Brady was still here. But even after Brady left, no matter what happened in camp, I think I would defer to, we have Bill Belichick. We have the greatest coach of all time. It's going to pull together. Even no matter how things look in camp, he's a good enough coach, he's going to pull it together. And maybe I had the wool pulled over my eyes a little bit with those observations. 23, 24, now you're starting not to just blindly believe that this team's going to somehow pull it together. And right now, I really do feel really good about what they're building out there. And it's just, I'm trying not to be like over the moon, because I know it's not going to be as great as you think it could possibly be. But I still think it could be really good. And what I've seen from this team in the first week, I really believe in Mike Vrabel as a coach. I believe in the program that he's doing. I just hope that they have the talent to really trade punches with these really good teams that they inevitably have to face up and down the schedule.
I'm just wondering, is there things that you need to see in August, in the month of August, to be able to definitively say, yeah, this offense is going to be okay?
Yeah, it's hard, right?
It is hard.
Because,
it is hard.
You talk about joint practices, and, I'm sure Philly came out of here feeling like, well, maybe the Patriots just stunk last year and their offensive line was terrible, and or they felt like, wow, we are primed to do what we're about to do. It's so hard. It's just, it goes back to the only real truth is games. And no matter what we talk about from preseason, from joint practices, from OTAs, all this stuff, and we certainly get information about how the coaches feel about players, and we see big plays, but how's it all going to come together in an organic game setting where there's ups and downs in the flow of the game, and this team needs mental toughness, and they need to preserve a lead, or they need to come from behind, like all those characteristics. I don't think there's any way to know from what happens in August up to August until they blow the whistle and it's kickoff week 1.
This camp feels a little bit like 21 to me. Like they had this free agency class that they brought in that has some guys that you feel like are veteran players that are proven commodities in the league, and you're not filling holes with guys that are really not meant to be in those roles. Like Milton Williams is a starting defensive lineman, Morgan Moses is a starting tackle in the NFL, but we know what free agency is. We know that that's not really where the top end talent is. So the difference is you hope that Drake May is better than Mac Jones, and you hope that Will Campbell is better than some of the guys that they drafted in that time frame.
Yeah.
But I feel like what I'm watching feels similar to that, where it's like, okay, they're going to be competent. And that year, competent meant 10 wins in a playoff berth. I don't know where it's going to get them this year. But we'll see. I think offensively, you want to see them be able to be multiple. Like, can they do everything at their disposal to move the football? When you're one-dimensional, if you can't run the ball, you can't pass block, you can't run block, you can't throw down
what happens,
the field.
you make it
easy to defend.
So if they
and that would be my
sequence it all together, then they can score.
The way Evan just put that, I think, is perfect. And I would want to make sure that they do not have to do a lot of really different things to scheme around pass protection.
Yeah.
Scheme around the tackles.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a hard. I mean, you can do it, and I know Josh will be better at it. Josh will be better at it than Alex Van Pelt was.
It's a tough way to live.
But I think you're very limited if you can only do it one way. And in other words, you have to glue somebody next to Will Campbell every time you face a speed rusher. Like that's not ideal.
Yeah, so in the past, no matter what it looked like, we had faith in Belichick that he'll figure it out. That faith started to erode, I think, really in the Patricia year, where he named him offensive coordinator, and it didn't look good, and it wasn't good. Like even I was saying, oh, it'll be fine. It's Belichick; he knows what he's doing. Patricia used to be a head coach; he knows football. It'll be fine. It wasn't. It was terrible. And then the next year was even when you had Bill O'Brien, it just still didn't look good. You were thinking, okay, we'll get out of August, and Bill O'Brien's a good offensive coordinator. He'll make it fine. It still wasn't good, and there wasn't any indications in the summer that it would be. We just had faith in Bill O'Brien, but that didn't work either. And so I'm a little bit, still traumatized by that.
Yeah.
Now I do believe in Mike Vrabel. I think he is a good coach, and like you said, it does seem like they're buttoned up, and he is stressing the fundamentals and situational play and taking advantage of bad football. So you hope that that's true.
Yeah.
But we got to see it now.
Yeah.
Like we're a fan base that's been kind of, like I said, traumatized over the last few years.
There was a couple of things, and like that to that point about like buttoning things up. Like Khyiris Tonga just comes unblocked through the A gap today and sacks Drake May in like under a second. Like can't have that.
Yeah.
Like that you can't have that. So like.
Oh, yesterday it was Spillane came unblocked.
Right, but like that's at least a blitz from the second level,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
You can't have the nose tackle standing right over the center go
Right.
unblocked.
What happened? Yeah.
Right, you know, like so
It's a
that's
speed pass to the quarterback.
that's unacceptable. So like,
And we saw that, like, I don't know if it was last year when you'd have linemen just like in space, like, who am I blocking?
Right, so,
You know,
like-
the communication was terrible.
does Vrabel take that next step of like being like, no, like where that is, you know, this is where the S that gets you beat.
Yeah.
Right, like that's in that category.
Not knowing who to block is part of the S that gets you beat.
You know the snaps, like they've had 3 aborted snaps at this point through 6 practices. Like they got to clean that up. That goes in that bucket too.
Yep.
And if that stops, like by next week, if all that kind of stuff stops because they clean it up, then I feel like I'm going to be feeling pretty good about where they're going. But the one thing that has me optimistic about the offense is I think that they're going to be able to run block. And if they can run block, then you can scheme stuff off the run game. You get play action involved. You move the pocket. Like you do different things like that that are around the run game that aren't necessarily about volume of run game. But if they can truly run block like that, then you can be optimistic about that's a foundation of an offense. That's like an identity of an offense. And hopefully that continues in that direction. But you can't have Khyiris Tonga. He's 340 pounds. Like no one put a hat on that guy. Like
It's kind of hard to miss.
yeah, come on.
Javon's in New York. What's up, Javon? Hey, Javon. No. Okay. How about Dan in Vermont? Hey, Dan. Dan.
Don.
Okay.
I'll tell you, if Patty doesn't come through, it's time to push away from
Yeah.
the table.
Patty's in Agawam. What's up, Patty?
Hey guys, how are you?
Okay.
Good seeing you the other day, Pat.
Just question on the right tackle position. Has Marcus Bryant and Jack Conley been taking any reps at right tackle in these 2 padded practices? Because I don't know about you guys, but DeMontre Jacobs scares the hell out of me if he has to play any extended time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
they've been
seen
getting reps.
a little bit, but not in any meaningful 11-on-11 work. Conley has played some tackle, both sides, like with the threes and like that, stuff like that, like opportunity reps for those guys. But yeah, I mean, right now, like having I'm going to give Morgan Moses the benefit of the doubt for now. Like he's a 12-year veteran and it's training camp, and like a lot of guys don't even show up to training camp this time of year anymore in his shoes. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but is he going to be there for 17 games is a real question. And if it is DeMontre Jacobs is his top backup, or Caden Wallace kicks back outside, or whatever the case may be, like they have to figure out, they need to have a functional backup right tackle, because I don't know if Morgan Moses is going to be there for the entire season. Like he's probably going to have some bumps in the road.
Yep. Sean's in Virginia. Hey, Sean.
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Okay.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, I listen to you guys talk. I mean, and I listen to a lot of people talk about this as far as like the depth of the team and stuff like that. You know, whatever. I guess people expect the team to be perfect. You know, because I don't really see the top 10 teams being this perfect. At least what I can say about this team that we all can really agree upon is really that this team actually does have guys who start on different teams. I mean, that's what we kind of have said in the past. So I just believe that this team can compete against the best of the best because they actually have starting caliber players, something that they didn't have in the past.
Okay. Is there a question there or no?
No, not necessarily. Just talk about this team as far as everybody thinks the team to be perfect, and in a lot of different ways. But even the contenders that we named don't have that.
Yeah. No, it's never perfect. It's never perfect. But I think thanks, Sean. We're kind of doing what the coaches do. We're really getting into the weeds and analyzing, almost every play. Who had a good one? Who didn't have a good one? On a play that the defense wins, somebody in the offense, you could say somebody in the offense didn't do their jobs, or you can look at it the other way. somebody on the defense did a really good job. But you have to do that. That's what practice is all about. They go after each practice. They go and they look at each, play, and they break it down, and then they present it back to the players, and they call out who did what, and that's how you get better. So no, it's not perfect. It's just impossible to be perfect, and I don't think that's the expectation here.
No, I think it's about figuring out.
But if you have 3 botched snaps, those are 3 botched snaps. Those are clear mistakes. You have to call those out.
And a couple of those were like, to go back to Evan's point, the bleep that gets you beat. A couple of them were in the red zone. So that's potentially taking points off the board, at least 4, but maybe even 7. If you're losing the possession, that's the stuff you can't overcome. Like you gotta, it's not a strive for perfection. I mean, I know all coaches want to strive for perfection, knowing that they can't achieve it, but we're not like nitpicking things. These are major problems that need to get cleaned up. That we're, the things that we're talking about specifically are issues that last year were problems all summer.
Yeah, and
they carried over into the season.
And at the same time, you want to focus on the center position. They're 3 botched snaps, but we're also saying that Jared Wilson is a bright spot at center. Like, he could be a guy pushing for a job either there or at left guard. Even with those, and I think he only had 1 of the botched snaps, although Paul...
No, he had 2. Well, we're in disagreement on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's another one that I'm positive Paul. I think 2 of them were on Bradbury.
Okay. But regardless, whether it's, Wilson or Bradbury, if it's Wilson, we think that that's a positive so far. He's a guy pushing a veteran for a starting job right now.
Yeah, it's... I just love how Vrabel broke it down, the good, the bad, and the stuff that gets you beat, because it's just like, that's so perfect. Like, that's exactly what it is. And like, some of the throws that, like, to the caller's point, it has to be perfect. Like, some of the throws we were talking about earlier that Drake missed today, that's just the bad. That's not the stuff that gets you beat.
Right.
Yeah.
The stuff that gets you beat is letting Khyiris Tonga come through the A gap unblocked.
Yeah.
That gets you beat. The botched snaps get you beat. There actually haven't been a ton of turnovers. They haven't thrown a ton of picks.
I think there's only been 2 picks the whole camp.
Which is
for
encouraging.
all the quarterbacks.
Yeah. So that's
not just Drake. I don't think Drake's thrown any.
He hasn't thrown any yet. Now, he's had a couple dropped, but he hasn't thrown any. He had some turnover-worthy plays. But that's the stuff that gets you beat. Yeah. The stuff that we're talking about is kind of, some of the throws, and that's nitpicking. Like, all right, he kind of had Hunter Henry there, and he sailed it a little bit, and it was like that's the bad. Yeah. And like, I'm not... that stuff's not going to lose you games necessarily, like the other stuff will. So that's not perfect, right? Like, that's by definition.
Yeah. Even without the expanding beyond the context of a game and getting beat, it's what issues are we seeing in camp that are going to be problems into the season, and what issues, which I would think like the snap, are things that are camp cleanup stuff. Like, that shouldn't be an issue. If that's an issue, you got major problems. But some of this stuff, I think, with the just overall depth and the performance level in important positions, that's the stuff that you're really trying to identify and lock down and figure out what the answers are going to be. Because I still think, like, not that Wes Schweitzer was the answer, but I think to have another veteran guard who maybe had played some games at this point looks like that might be nice to have. Maybe that's something they're on the lookout for.
I don't think that Cole Strange has been terrible. I think he's
I think he's been pretty good.
Passable grade for him. Like, so I would say, like, if it's him and Jared Wilson or Bradbury at center, like, I would still put Jared Wilson at left guard. That's just me. But maybe that's just because I can't get over the whole having a 22-year-old rookie at center. Like, that just worries me. But in general, I think that Cole Strange has been okay. So maybe that's your interiors. Strange, Wilson, Onwenu.
They did it with David Andrews. He was fine.
Yeah, but David Andrews was like a 4 or 5 year starter at Georgia. Like, we're talking about a 22-year-old kid who started 12 games at Georgia. And so, like, it's just a lot. It's a lot to put on him, and you already have a second-year quarterback, and there's a lot on his plate. And so it's just, you have a very young battery. Like, those 2 guys are very young together. But it doesn't mean they can't do it. It just is something to...
He's my favorite personality guy, personality rookie. Just listen to him talk. Like, he just seems like really well-spoken, thought out, has his head on his shoulders, has a good perspective on things. I like him
All right. We're going to take a break, but before we do, want to remind people that you can travel with the Patriots this year. Enter the Patriots road trip raffle for your chance to go to New Orleans as the Patriots take on the Saints on October 12th. One lucky fan will receive 2 tickets on a private charter to the game, tickets to the game, hotel accommodations, and much more. Enter for a chance to win for just $10. All your proceeds benefit the Patriots Foundation. To purchase your tickets, visit patriots.com/community. And as Mike reminded us, Brunt is based right here in New England. Brunt Workwear makes work boots and apparel that are built for the job site. Their gear is comfortable, durable, and named after the real workers in the trades that helped design it. You can even try Brunt out on the job, and if it doesn't blow you away, they let you send it back. Save $10 on your first order at bruntworkwear.com/Pats or with coupon code PATS. I can't wait till the weather gets a little colder because I'm going to wear those boots.
Heck yeah.
It's too hot to wear right now, but I'm gonna be rocking those boots.
Me too.
When it gets a little cooler out.
Do some work in the yard, maybe rake some leaves.
Yeah. I noticed my Instagram feed too. There's a lot of Brunt ads that are popping up.
It's hearing you talk, and I think it's feeding you more.
You're not supposed to be doing that. But anyway, all right, we'll take a break. We got a nice interview with Khyiris Tonga that you can listen to right now.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
With FedEx One Rate, you can ship to your student for a simple, predictable flat rate. Send a box full of home-baked treats that say, "Your father and I miss you." Or send a box full of instant noodles that says, "Your father and I would like you to stop asking us for money." Either way, one rate fits all. FedEx One Rate. 2-day shipping, one flat rate. Starting at $14.50. Visit FedEx.com/OneRate for details. Exclusions apply.
You were a rookie with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe in your first padded practice you may have gotten into a fight. Should I assume that you don't want your rookies doing that?
I don't want any of us doing that. It's a long time ago, Karen.
Yeah. Can you give a little detail?
No.
Okay.
You're going to follow up?
Have the players been told that they can't do it, Mike?
Of course. We want to be able to practice the same way we have to play, which is physical and within the rules, and have a great play demeanor, finish through the whistle and all those things. And, if you throw a punch, you're going to get kicked out of the game, which is going to cost the team. So I don't anticipate any of that. I want us to celebrate with our team, and the defensive unit celebrate with each other. Offensive unit get excited and celebrate with each other. Not get into the taunting and the things that we would, that we can't have during the game.
Did you at least win?
I think I did. It's a good story about, don't use the fight, but about a veteran player. Greg Lloyd was a very dominant player, imposing figure, and I got drafted in April, and he didn't say a word to me through OTAs, and I'm on the defense, mind you, so he didn't say a word to me the entire off season. We go to training camp. There was a fight with me and a tight end, and I'm exhausted after practice, and I see this shadow come over me as I'm sitting in the locker room. And he's like, in his deep voice, and he's like, yeah, the next time you want to come up underneath the face mask. And I was like, you just now are going to talk to me? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to make sure you weren't like a punk, and then I would talk to you. So it's a good example of just a veteran making sure that, rookies kind of earn their stripes, I guess, a little bit. But
do you feel like you're satisfied with the foundation you built in camp so far to get to the point of putting in pass?
Yeah, I think so. This will be, twofold. We'll be down in the red zone. We'll be getting a lot of work in the red zone. Things happen a lot quicker down there, tighter windows, just the speed of everything, it just gets sped up. And so that'll be good for us to move on to that situation, as well as see how we, start to practice in pads and our pad level, our fundamentals, our hands, and those types of things.
Mike, as you share that story and talk about the guy not talking to you for a couple months while you're together, do you feel like it's different in the NFL or with this specific team now?
Well, I just think that was a Greg Lloyd type of thing. You know what I mean? I think that was certainly his personality. I think that there's, you're always trying to, prove yourself to your teammates, especially as a young player, and Greg probably took it a little too extreme.
Mike, after all these OTAs and the first 4 days without pads, your excitement level today, maybe on a scale from 1 to 10?
I just think coming off of a day off, I think this is just another step in our program. So I try to come out here with the same excitement and give them everything I got and help them. So this is just another important step throughout the process of preparation. Go ahead. Don't worry about it.
What's it been like having Terrell Williams back out there with the team and having him on defense?
Yes,
what have you seen from him?
Well, he has an energy to him. There's the players are, they respond well to him. And when he has his clips that he shows them and the things that he thinks are important as a coordinator, I think that they're believing in what we want to do and our style of play. And so just keep moving ahead, but it's great to have him back, just his personality and demeanor.
Mike, if you were in our shoes, what would you think you'd say? You guys should really watch this. You've been doing this for a long time. You know how.
You mean if I was a part of the media?
Yeah, if you would say you guys.
I don't think there's ever a scenario where that would happen.
Oh, that's absolutely a matter of time. You already did stuff with Felga 15 years ago.
As soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to be in the witness protection plan. You will never find me.
All right. Well, if you decided you would help us.
I mean, I just think that how maybe some of these, to me, it's critical at the line of scrimmage, right? Just being able to make contact. There's going to be a stalemate. There's two professional players lined up across from each other. Who can re-engage? Who can reset their feet? Maybe get a little extra movement. How do we play do we stay on our feet? Can we practice like this and stay on our feet? We got a bunch of guys falling on the ground. I'd rather not see that. I just don't think that good teams end up practicing that way. And again, just the urgency in which we move around practice, that we're in and out of the huddle. The players are running on and off the field. Those are all things that I think are critical. I think that translate to the field, to the game, right? Where you're not standing 10 yards behind the ball. You're coming from the sideline, and we're communicating. The personnel and the quarterback has to echo that. Those are the types of things right now that we're trying to build.
Mike, Pop Douglas seems to be having a pretty strong camp. So what have you seen from him? What have you learned about him this offseason?
Great energy, great demeanor, very coachable. One of our off-season award winners, so he obviously worked extremely hard, was here every day, ready to learn, ready to earn a role, and love being around Pop. He's got a great energy, and he's got a lot of respect from everybody around here.
Mike, specific to one-on-one pass rush we saw a little bit the other day, how much of that period is for experimentation with new moves or techniques versus the evaluation where guys are really obviously trying to win every rep?
Yeah, I watch it a little bit. I do think that's probably a great question. One of the players I coached in Houston, Whitney Merciless, we went through some developmental things with him. He was a very talented player. And one thing I always respected about Whitney was his willingness to try new moves during practice. And, some of them wouldn't work. Some of them he needed to see at full speed for him to say, that's not something that I'm going to commit a lot of time to, and then others that, worked and that he would commit time to. So that's exactly why you do practice, is so that you can, sometimes figure out what doesn't work, and you can eliminate some things and you can move on, especially as a pass rusher, right? You're trying to have a couple different pitches, not too many, but I certainly need a fastball and some off-speed pitches and some counters. So this is why we practice, is to be able to go out there and do that, and I understand a lot of those things. And, when you get to the team periods and you get to the games and you can see how guys pass rush. But, I think that's obviously a good thing. The offensive linemen are going to work on different techniques and things like that, so they're not doing the same thing every single snap.
Mike, how many final questions, guys?
And now, great moments in history.
Are you going for barbecue?
I don't know. I'm not a big barbecue guy.
What's wrong with
really? No, I'd probably go across the street to like Del Frisco's or something. Just bring back the memories.
Oh,
I ate there
Super Bowl
3 times.
Super Bowl week. Super Bowl week. We
You
stayed
ate
there.
there 3 times?
I did.
Wow.
Expensed every one.
I was going to say the rubber paper.
One of them was picked up for. What was the
go-to? I ate there once.
Different things each time, or same thing 3 times? Did you switch
I
it
might
up?
have had different things. Yeah.
Just keep ordering.
All
Sounds
steak, but the ribeye, then the fillet.
I had different things. A fillet, a ribeye, and a porterhouse.
Different parts of the animal.
Yeah.
Steak.
But it's literally across the street, so.
It is.
Yeah.
Right there.
And there's a great breakfast joint on that street too.
Really?
Oh yeah.
You and your breakfast.
Yes.
I'm
Me and my breakfast. That's right.
If I ever travel scout, I'm in with you. Any
You're
breakfast.
damn right.
I
And it's
would
called.
be there
And you know how we love
7 a.m.
desserts?
Oh,
House of Pies.
yeah, man.
That's what it's called.
I'm in.
House
Love it.
of Pies.
I like pie.
Breakfast.
I like pie. Yes, definitely.
That's another great moment from
Joining us now, straight off the practice field, is Khyiris Tonga. Khyiris, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm Fred Kirsch. This
Yes,
is Paul
sir.
Perillo.
Yes, sir.
This is Patriots Unfiltered. This is the team's podcast, flagship podcast.
Okay.
And I'll have you know, this is the world's longest running podcast in the world.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm not kidding.
That's true.
That's
Glad
true.
to be a part of it.
Fred started it.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Back in 2000.
He's a little older than me.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Love it.
So, how are things going for you?
It's going well.
Yeah?
Everything's going well. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right. Good. Things are going good.
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
All right. So you've been around a couple different teams. Any differences in how teams do things in training camp, or is it pretty much the same?
Every team is usually kind of the same. They have their own little flavors to how they like their schedules. But here, yeah, it's been very well. Being with Coach Vrabel and how he runs it. He's been in the league and he's been a player in this league, so he understands kind of the how the body works for players on these long camp days. So it's so cool to see him tweak schedules and kind of fit into so that we can get the best out of and the most out of everything that we do.
Yeah.
So it's been very cool.
So that's interesting. Was there a little bit of a tweak today? Because it did seem that yesterday you guys were very active bouncing around. Today it did seem to be a little bit of a lower pace. Was that a tweak to the schedule?
Yeah, I think just him knowing okay, we got full pads and making sure our legs are good, and the days we got to run long, he's gonna make sure we're good before. The days we got the short yardage stuff, make sure that we're using that full maximum effort in those short yardage. So he does a very good job of taking care of us.
Yeah, he comes off as a tough guy and all that, and he was. I was here when he was playing. He was a tough guy, and he is a tough guy. But he does have that care for the players. There's no sense in beating everybody up in the last week of July. So, I would think players appreciate that.
Exactly. Yes, sir, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes. We definitely do.
And it was hot out there today. Yeah, and it's going to be hot out there tomorrow.
Yeah.
So defensively, you're one of them. A lot of new faces and a new scheme for New England. I know you're the first year here anyway. So just curious to your thoughts about how those pieces are coming together. Your initial thoughts. You're about a week into training camp now. Just how that front seven specifically is coming together.
Yeah, we're stacking these days. Kind of like our coach, he really harps on just being able to go out and just be consistent and how we are. Some days are going to be bad. We're going to have some bad plays, and some days are going to be very, very well. However that looks, we just got to continue to stack. And I think for our front seven, that's kind of been the theme, just continue to work, feed off each other, learn from one another, and it's been working very well so far.
Yeah, so you guys did a little bit of red zone today, but even though you're in full pads, you're still not like 100% going to the ground yet and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's the only thing we're not doing. Everything else to that point is full speed, 100%.
Yeah.
We're just not throwing guys on the ground so we can take care of each other.
Right. So as a space eater up front, like, is there a point in practice or in training camps in the past where you get to, okay, this is now I can do what I do, like goal line, for example.
No, I love goal line. Just being that mentality of they got to gain 1 yard and you being the person that they got to move, it brings out a chip in someone like me and those D linemen. But I think just anywhere on the field, really, if it's third down, second down, goal line, just being able to go out and just do your job is very exciting.
So you have, Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, and they're a little bit of a different sort of body type than you. They're a little bit, smaller and more penetrating, pass rushing. You are more of a space-eating run stopper, right? Is that?
No, yes, sir.
That be accurate. So I'm just, how does that dynamic work with you guys? How well do you think you guys complement each other?
I think it works very well. We get to feed off one another. I think just like you said, the get-offs, Moon Williams is really good at doing that, and I think being able to show the room that it's possible, and even if you're a nose, you can still get off in this league.
Right.
And so just having that confidence in teammates like Milton just helping you out, that makes it so much easier. And then with Barmore, he's just a freak. So he's such an athletic freak that he can play the position inside and out. And just seeing the same things, just learning from him and being able to feed off one another, it's been amazing.
Now, when Christian gets really excited and starts talking really fast, do you have any idea what he's saying either?
Oh, yeah. No, sometimes you just got to let him talk.
Yeah, you just let him go. It's impossible to transcribe, for an interview.
Sometimes he talking, he going to talk, and I love that about B-More, man. He's amazing.
So what do you think of New England? What have you, how do you like living here so far?
New England's been cool. It's such a different vibe from the West Coast.
Yeah.
But, I love it out here. Scenery-wise, beautiful. Team-wise, it's been very welcoming from player standpoint, and the coach has been very cool, and the fans have been very welcoming and very nice. So it's been good.
Now you've been settled in. You mentioned, because I was listening to you talk out there. Have you gotten your family here too, or you have a 4-year-old?
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old. No, during the camps it's kind of hard because it's so far.
You don't see them enough,
So I usually try to bring them out during the season. Same as my siblings and my parents. They try to come out during the season. So during camp time, it's just we're locked in and no family around. So it kind of makes it a little easy.
And you also were one of the off-season award winners. I saw this morning. What went into that, and I assume that's a point of pride for you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I was shocked, only because everybody was working. Literally anybody could have gotten that award. Like this OTAs everybody was just go, and we were feeding off each other. So, and just coming into camp, the same mentality, nothing's has changed. Like it's been cool, but everybody's working. You see it on the field. So it's been pretty. It was good though.
Oh, you must have had the neatest locker or something like that. You must have done something.
There were only 4 guys, Fred. He was one of them.
You must have done something.
Man, it was just working. It was just working. Yes, sir.
As fans, we love to hear that. And we love seeing you here. Appreciate you coming by. I know you got stuff to do. Get showered up and get some food in you and get ready for the meetings this afternoon.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys for having me.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, Khyiris.
Thanks,
thank
Khyiris.
you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Khyiris Tonga. We'll be right back after this. All right. We're back here on Patriots Unfiltered. That was Paul and myself's interview with Khyiris Tonga. Real nice guy, as you could see.
Seems real nice. I listened to him a little bit outside as well, and the big man in the middle.
Yep.
He's going to be a big part of the
sneaky important player, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of one of one.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. He's the only guy on the team that does what he does.
Yeah, I didn't want to necessarily throw any of his teammates under the bus when I asked him that question. But that's kind of what I was talking about. Like, Milton Williams and Barmore, different kinds of players, even though you guys all play the same position. And he was like, yeah, no, you're right. And I was like, you're more of a run-stuffing space eater. And I didn't want to say, you don't really have
dying
any
breed.
And no, I didn't want to say you don't really have anybody else like that.
Right.
no.
Right.
Because they kind of got rid of most of the bigger
They did.
defensive linemen. They have a lot of athletic defensive tackles.
Yeah, they got rid of Godshaw, and they got
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but isn't this kind of how you would prefer it? Like I
Yep.
know you weren't a big fan of paying Devon Godshaw, who is like a high price Tonga. You'd rather
wants
pay
to stop the
Tonga.
run on the way to the quarterback.
I mean, I just feel like if the other team wants to try to beat you running the ball, I think it in general will work to the Patriots' favor because I think it'll keep the score down, and you don't have an offense that's necessarily conducive right now to getting in 35-point shootouts.
Yeah.
So I think if the other team wants to run the ball, and they give up some, because I do think that they have a chance to be a little bit leaky against the run with their smaller front seven.
You know, with him, like I think he was a 7th-round draft pick or something like that, and he started playing special teams and things like that. But over the course, like I think last year was the most games he's played in, so that's kind of a good thing. Like he's been on a lot of teams, but like he got more playing time recently than early in his career. Like he's built toward that. So maybe he could be a sneaky contributor to the defense. Who knows?
Yeah, I think unfortunately for him, like you said, dying breed. Like
No, but there will be times where situationally. I don't talk about every play. I'm talking situationally where we got to make this stop. It's 3rd and inches or around the goal or whatever, and they put him in.
Yep, it just doesn't. What I more meant was like that's not a very sought after commodity in today's NFL.
No.
And so you're not seeing a lot of nose tackles drafted high anymore. Like Vince Wilfork is a 1st-round pick. Like you'd have to be that dominant probably to get drafted in the top 50 these days.
Yeah.
Like it's just not a position that lends itself to that. But situationally, whether it's just end of game 4-minute offense, they're trying to close out the game, you're trying to get a stop, they're going to run the ball, goal line, 3rd down, 4th down. Like those are spots where I could see Milton Williams coming off the field maybe for a Khyiris Tonga or someone like that.
That's where I was just about to go, Ev, was who is the someone like that? That's what I'm curious about. Tonga's going to have a role. Williams and Barmer will have big roles, but I think what we're seeing a little bit of is Jeremiah Farms maybe, or could, Farmer, the draft pick, Josh Farmer from Florida State. I haven't seen much from him just yet. It still seems like
today too.
Jeremiah Farms is the next guy up with that group. So we'll see how that continues to progress.
Podcast at patriots.com is a way to email us. Linda from Georgia writes in, made it to camp today to see everything in person and form some opinions of what's going to be the 25 Pat season. Also got to meet Evan before practice as a bonus.
That's true. We took a selfie. It was nice. Her
Okay.
and her husband were here, and they're both fans of the show.
I think he's an ex-husband now, Evan. After that picture.
I see. So I'm also an ex-husband that I married 3 weeks in.
Now to football. I thought the rotation for offensive side was notable. O-line, left guard, and center changes. That look like they're going for the best combo. This is the time of year to do that, and it helps find the next man up should injuries happen, as they might. Wide receiver, lots of changes with each formation too, with multiple lineups to block or be a decoy for the defense. Running back, good to see them securing the ball with 2 hands on almost every possession. Good sign for the group. Tight end, great to see Hooper in the mix again. What do you say? Anything I missed for these positions? Tomorrow, I'll be looking for a defense from the stands and get my opinion formed there. So there you go.
That's all good stuff. I mean, that's kind of what we're telling you. But if you need further confirmation, that's how it goes in camp. It's it's hard. You don't want to overreact every time you see. And this is a bad example, but like Efton Chisholm all of a sudden is out for a rep. You don't want. Oh my God, it's happening. But you see a few days, a guy starts to, like Jared Wilson. You start to see him expanding his role a little bit more. You start to track those things. That's what really I've been watching, and some of these injuries that have offered opportunities for other guys. That's what makes it interesting to me as I look at my nerd depth chart and start to put together, how do they see the team? Who's the next guy up, at this position? How would they, if a right tackle went out or if Trey Jacobs, how would, those questions, how would they affect the inevitable kind of juggling you always end up doing on rosters?
Colleen from Houston says about the botched snaps.
No.
It seems like the common denominator is Drake.
Yeah.
Has Dobbs received a botched snap? Could it be Drake who's messing up the snap and not the center?
Yes.
That was a thing last year, too, regardless of the center.
Yeah.
Yep. I definitely think there's a chance of that, and it just goes back. I mean, he did it more last year, but, like, these college quarterbacks are not under center. They don't take snaps from under center in the college game anymore. Everybody runs spread. Everybody runs gun. Like the amount of times, like some of these teams are so anti-under center, they kneel from the shotgun. Like it's a shotgun snap into a quarterback kneel.
That's funny.
At the end of the game.
I've
like
seen it.
that's how allergic these teams are to going under center.
Yeah.
So Drake May, you could probably count on two hands the amount of times that he was under center at North Carolina. It just doesn't happen. So for a lot of these young quarterbacks, it's an adjustment. But the other question that I've always had with it is, do they eventually just adjust to him? Right? Like, okay, if you're really not comfortable doing this, maybe we go to the pistol. Maybe we go more shotgun-heavy offense, and we build it around the fact that you're not necessarily comfortable being an under-center quarterback, because there are teams that have done that too. You know, Philadelphia with Jalen Hurts. Like, the only times that the Eagles are under center are the tush-push.
Yeah.
That's it.
So Colleen could be onto something there. One of those botch snaps, I did notice it was up here. So I don't know how do you go from under center and it ends up at your shoulder? But it could be like he just mishandled it and it flew up over his shoulder. I don't know.
Yeah, there were some low snaps in shotgun too. I think part of the appeal to me, though, of Jared Wilson is, Drake, get your hands up under his butt, get used to it. The next 10 years that you guys are going to be a married couple, like you're going to grow together. If they could somehow get on the same page with that stuff, that'd be, part of the appeal to me of having a young center that he can grow with and can get used to having his hands up there.
I mean, ideally, he gets aces under center.
Deuce talks about it. It's a little dirty.
Yeah.
Having his hands up
there. Get up there.
Yeah.
You would like to be able to go under center.
I imagine
the
Josh
run
is
game
like,
and
we are
play
gonna
action
figure it out.
advantages are palpable. They're statistically proven. Like, you'd want to be able to do that at least like a 25 to 30% clip.
I can imagine Josh would say that our playbook will be really limited if we're unable to do that.
Why do you think it does? Why do you think the stats do bear that out? Is it because it gives an advantage to the runner to be able to get a good look at things before he takes off, or like why is it?
I think the main reason is the running back's coming from deeper in the backfield, so he has to run up to the line of scrimmage. Whereas when he's in the shotgun, he's starting from a stagnant stance, so he's not having.
See, I used to get made fun of when I talked about that.
Oh.
When I said that he's starting from a dead start, Paul would make fun of me.
A dead start, yes, I did.
Well, that's the same thing as stagnant.
It's more stagnant.
Dead start.
Stagnant.
Or a dead stop. What do you think?
Oh, I see.
Oh, this is more semantic things and not so much an
Correct.
analysis
It's a Fred Paul argument. I mean, what do you think? What do you think it was actually relevant?
I didn't know. I get what Fred's saying. That's right. But no, dead start.
Yeah, it was one of those just kind of was a funny phrase, and me and Andy took notice of it, and you don't think it was anything relevant, do you?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So you're just standing there.
Of course, we know what you mean.
Behind the quarterback under center, he's 8 yards in the backfield. So now Ramondre has 8 yards of a running start into the line of scrimmage, so he's moving a lot faster at the point of attack than he would be.
But if you're at shotgun, now the quarterback is 5 or 6 yards back, and he hands it to the running back, you're still...
But the running back doesn't have a head start. Like the running back in under center is running before he even has the ball.
Oh, so he's running to the quarterback.
Correct, because they're going to meet at the junction. So
Gotcha.
mesh.
Okay.
But the other thing that's really big is play action, because when you're under center, you turn around and you turn your back to the defense and you can hide the ball.
Right.
Whereas if you're in the shotgun, the defense can see the football.
Okay.
So that's why RPOs became a thing. Not to go down the whole rabbit hole, but RPOs became a thing because teams that were gun heavy, like in college, they had to find a way to be more effective with play action from the gun because they couldn't do it like you do it from
What
under
about
center.
the fact that on a shotgun, the ball gets to the running back faster?
Well, I mean, I guess you could say that's an advantage in the other direction, but I think most of the time the advantages of being under center outweigh that.
Okay.
I would say.
All right.
Especially just from like a running back perspective.
And to your point, Fred, like I can tell you pushing back, which I like. Obviously, the things that are an advantage of being under center are not necessarily viewed as outweighing the benefits of the vast majority of teams are in shotgun more often than not, right? I mean, or at least a high percentage.
Yes.
So if it was such a big advantage, I think more teams would say, no, we have to do this.
Right.
You know?
Right.
It's a big advantage for the run game and play action if you want to be like a traditional play action team. Now, a lot of offenses nowadays run the pistol, which is the perfect median. It's right in the middle because you still have the back behind the quarterback and you can still turn and hide the ball when you turn in the pistol. So
in the pistol, you're just closer to the center.
Well, the running
bit.
back is directly behind the
Yeah.
quarterback instead of offset,
Yeah.
like he is in the gun. So, like Miami is Shanahan tree, Mike McDaniel, but Tua doesn't like going under center because he's so short. So what they do is they put Tua in the pistol, and then they run all the same actions that like Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay run from under center, but they run it from the pistol. So there's just there's different ways that you can do it. And I've been clamoring for the Patriots to run more pistol because I don't think Drake is great from under
Is
center.
there an even better like the slingshot, for example, like in between the pistol and under center?
No, that has not been invented. But if you there's there's different variations of like
soap with a slide.
Ways that they have like the sidecar, right, where you have like a lead blocker is offset, and then the running back's behind the quarterback, and you kind of have a 3-man backfield. The Ravens do that a lot. But there's not a slingshot, no.
No sling. What, a bow and arrow?
No, you can invent it though.
No.
If you want to tell Josh, I mean, maybe he'll come up.
By the way, did we ever figure out your no Lampy today?
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
No Brock Lampy.
No Brock Lampy. No fullback in the.
I'll be seeing him no more.
There was some speculation from Paul's people from the media tent.
Well, they cut him. How could they do that the day after Pats? That seems impossible.
I mean, it would be disappointing to say that.
Noah's in Toronto. He says, I'm worried that I haven't heard anything about the QB run game / read options. Do you think this is coming soon, or are we going to hamstring ourselves again this year?
I just talked about it earlier. They did a ton of it today. I don't want to give away too much, but they did it today.
It's in the bag.
The Jets have re-signed Nick Folk, everybody.
Wow, good for him.
Nick
like
Folk,
110
everybody.
years old.
Except when he plays. When's the wheel going to fall off the bus with him? Like, is he just going to keep kicking field goals?
Well, he's on the Jets, so my guess is
probably
now.
not.
Now, yeah. Randy's in Providence. What's up, Randy?
Randy.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
So I've got 2 questions for you guys regarding the position battles there. Borregales versus Parker Romo. It sounds like the reporting through the past couple of days that it's kind of leaned more towards Parker Romo. And I was watching the after practice interview, I think, with Borregales the other day. And it just and maybe I'm reading into it too much or whatever, but he was like, oh, yeah, I got a good foot on the ball, but it didn't go in, but that's fine because I got a good foot on the ball. And it just seemed to me like that's not the result that you want. You don't. The result that you're pursuing is 3 points or 1 point. It's not getting a good foot on the ball. And sometimes you got to, anticipate those sorts of things. And again, not to get into the minutia of kicking, but it just didn't seem like there was a lot of caring about the result from him.
I sort of understand that though, Randy, because kicking it's almost like a golf swing, like it's a repetitive stroke, and you just want the stroke to look exactly the same, and you want your routine to be exactly the same. So if you're having a repetitive stroke, then the results usually come. It's when one time you're leaning this way, one time you're leaning that way. That's when
Thanks, Randy.
the shanks start to happen.
I think what he's basically telling you is, I feel like if I hit it like this 100 times, I'm going to make 95 of them.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. I think the golf analogy is a perfect one. I've done that a million times as a hacker. I might be, 150 yards, and I hit my iron, and I hit it flush, and I just hit it a little bit left of the green or right of the green. I'm like, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm not on the green. That's what I was trying to do, but I hit it the way I normally want to hit it. And I think if I hit it like that every time, more often than not, it's going to go on the green. And I bet you that's what he meant, is if I hit him like that all the time, more often than not, we're going to be happy.
I always hear the golf, and when you talk to special teams coordinators and stuff, they always use golf. It's just a repetitive swing. You want the stroke to look exactly the same every single time, and those are the best kickers. The best kickers, they don't change, even if they're kicking from 60, and they're trying to hit. It's
but isn't there a change in trajectory though? If you're going longer, you need to kind of drive it a little bit more.
Maybe, but
you can't hit it as high.
The leg swing, and the steps and the whole process of getting the ball off the ground, they want to keep it the same.
Okay.
Now, to Randy's initial concern, I would say it's small C. I do think Romo has been a little bit better. We talked about this earlier in the show. Yeah. And there have been times where I haven't felt Borregales hit it, quote unquote, the way, I don't think he got a good foot on every one of these misses, to use Borregales' terminology. I think he's struggled a little bit with that golf swing, trying to get
I don't know how close we can actually see, but when he had those, when the ball just didn't look right coming off, was the placement of the ball right? I don't know.
A lot goes into it.
Yeah,
but it's that 10-4. That sideways kind of spin.
No, I know what you're saying. It looks like a knuckleball sometimes.
But I just don't get the jump. I don't think any of his balls look like that in college. Is it the different ball, or I don't know.
Could be.
It could be. Or like I said,
does that take an adjustment to kick?
Laces out, all that type of stuff. Is it a little bit, all left to right?
I never hear much. I mean, I've worked here for 6 years now. I've never really heard much about the change in ball from college.
The K-ball?
From college to the pros, and it is.
The Duke.
It's a bigger ball.
Yeah, is the college ball a little fatter?
It's shorter and fatter. They're basically the same size, but they're
a little bit different.
The consistency is different. It's shorter and fatter in college.
Right. You're looking for a consistent stroke.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from.
Well, it's just it affects. You're going to have a consistent stroke to a short, fat one. It's not.
Wow.
I was going to say something serious too, but no.
Pros are longer.
Sorry, I led myself down
They're
that road.
just longer.
I did. That's exactly how I was feeling. I really just thought that.
Listen, size matters, okay?
All right.
Well, it does, and not enough players talk about all of a sudden, I can't imagine going from college hockey to pro hockey, and the puck's a little bit longer now. All of a sudden, I had this great snapshot, and now it kind of comes out the stick funny, and
just won't stop.
It's like the 3-point line in basketball. In college, it's shorter than in the NBA.
Yeah, you get used to it, but people never really talk about the ball's a little weird for me. I got to adjust it. No one ever says that.
Well,
you don't. I agree with you. You don't hear a lot of people talk about it.
It's almost to the point where when I was about to
Jeremy
bring this
Springer
up 2 seconds ago, I had to do mental inventory of the ball is different.
Maybe we should get Borealis in here. We'll ask him.
Ask Jeremy Springer.
Yeah.
What do you like? Is short and fat or the long
Did
lean?
they change the college ball?
No,
Maybe it's not different anymore.
No, I
don't
do
know.
remember in those Friday press conferences last year with Jeremy Springer, where there would be 5 of us, people that actually stay for the special teams coach, and he
Congratulations.
He actually talked about the different holds. There are different holds.
Yeah.
And certain kickers, depending on the conditions and stuff like that, the way that the ball is literally pointed and held can be different. And I know it sounds silly and I'm making excuses for him, but there's a chance that him and Behringer are still in the lab, trying to figure out exactly how he likes the ball to be held.
Yeah.
Distance matters, wind conditions matter, the surface sometimes matters on the field. So these things do factor into all
Where's
this.
Barth when you need him?
And
I was expecting him just to magically appear I Dream of Jeannie, smoke, and then he's is someone talking kicking?
Right.
It's funny
It's
though.
Alex Barth. It's like the bat signal.
As
the
much
Barth
as
signal.
we all just kind of write all this stuff off, that's the special teams coach. This is their job, and so like any job, they know all the minutia of all the details of the different holds and all this kind of stuff. So maybe that's it.
So I just did a quick Google search, and they are roughly the same.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
College footballs are generally within the same length and circumference ranges as NFL footballs, but can vary more due to different manufacturers.
Okay.
And it talks about it's 27 to 28 and a half around.
They got the stripe. Maybe that makes it look shorter.
I like the stripe. I like the stripe.
I do like the stripe too.
I do too.
Whenever I buy a backyard football, I'm going
But
stripe.
the weight, the pressure, it's
You
roughly
can tell the
roughly the
spiral a
same.
little bit better with the stripe.
Yeah.
Eldred's on the line. What's up, Eldred?
Biggie. There we go.
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, saw something on the report yesterday. I know I'm late to get to the show, but how bad is Gonzo? And they said that Polk showed out a little bit. So I'm like, here we go again.
Well,
So what do y'all
Gonzo,
think?
according to the reports, it's a hamstring. It won't threaten his availability for the season, but they're going to just take it easy on him right now and let him rest. But it's nothing major. It is a hamstring tweak, according to Jordan Schultz.
So just
anyway.
3 minutes ago, Karen Gregian, I'm told the Patriots aren't sure how long top corner Christian Gonzalez will be out with a hamstring injury. They're just taking it, quote, day by day.
Yeah. So day by day for him. And then Polk, I don't know if catching a pass is showing
Polk,
out.
I mean, there is no scenario that you could say Polk has been showing out. He's back on the practice field the last 2 days, which is a really positive sign for him. just getting back into it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I mean, he
it is-
caught one pass yesterday, and I think one pass with the twos today.
Yeah, the touchdown that he caught was as schemed open as you can possibly be.
It was very similar for people that
hard
didn't
play
see it. The touchdown that he caught last year in Chicago.
Yeah.
Actually, he had a good catch.
Thanks,
today,
Eldred.
though. I don't know if it was a catch for sure. It seemed like he thought it was a catch, but the far end zone back left,
Just-
like it was. I
I'm
don't
not
know. It
gonna
was
go
nah.
Oh, the one where he jumped out of bounds. See, I didn't. I nitpicked that one because that was the play that Drake was extending. You know, he was running around, and Polk ran himself out of bounds. Like all of a sudden, like you're trying to get open for your guy, and you know the sideline becomes a second defender on you. Like move to where there's more space.
Yeah,
He just ran out of room.
Yeah, I came to it late, but
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was open. He seemed like he thought he was open.
I'm with you, dude. Touchdown.
I mean,
It should have been.
there were 2 occasions last year where he insisted.
I don't
he
know what
caught
you're
the ball
talking
in
about.
games, too.
I didn't want to
Is
go
that
there,
the-
Paul.
no, are you talking about the one we were talking about together? Where
you could get me there.
Are we were talking about the one we all talked about together, where we're like, oh, that was out of bounds?
Yeah, no, it was out of bounds.
That was clearly out of
I
bounds.
know. We were
I
joking
agree.
about the 2 feet.
It wasn't even close.
Even I saw that.
Yeah.
Heel toe.
I guess. I don't know.
Toe heel toe.
Emery's in Virginia. What's Emery? What's up, Emery?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey.
You guys are doing an amazing job keeping us Pats fans informed with the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Thank you.
Really, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I love it. Hey, listen, I need your update from your optics, not what the reporters are saying, the other people who are covering the Pats, but your optics as far as the linebackers and the DBs, which include both the corners and safeties. Tell me what you're seeing. I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, Emery, you're looking for the optics of the back end of the defense, the back 8 or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, we've seen Spillane and Christian Ellis paired together a lot as sort of like the top inside linebacker duo, and Spillane's not surprising, but no Tavai in these practices. He's been out, so that might contribute a little bit to Ellis being so involved, but I feel like those 2 guys have been pretty locked in there as the top 2 inside linebackers, with maybe like a little bit of Jack Gibbons every once in a while.
Yeah, and then on the safety, it's a lot of Duggar and Peppers, but a lot of rotation going on back there, giving guys like Jalen Hawkins a chance, Marcus Epps.
I thought Marcus Epps made a nice play today in coverage on one of those reps.
I'd say, Craig Woodson hasn't really entered that conversation yet, which is something to watch. I mean,
Hasn't entered the chat.
Yeah, he hasn't entered the chat yet with that top unit. But like I said, I think last show, a lot of rotation going on in the back. Seems like they're looking for how the best 3 fit, but they clearly seem to understand that Peppers and Duggar play well when they're close to the line of scrimmage.
I mentioned that, show me what goes on in the joint practice, and I'll be able to come up with a little bit more informed opinions. But Friday night's in-stadium practice for Foxborough residents and season ticket members, we're told, will be more like a scrimmage.
Like an actual scrimmage or like a procedural?
Well, that's the thing. We've been conditioned because Bill, I think out of spite, kind of made those in-stadium practices glorified walkthroughs.
Yeah.
Like they'd be in uniform, but it was no more than a walkthrough.
It was more about knowing where to stand.
I heard that this might be more like a scrimmage.
Well, I think Vrabel might have said something to somebody on the radio, maybe. If I thought I saw that
it might have been on Sirius or something.
Oh, maybe it was to the Pat.
Because like a lot of times these are like you said, and it's like, relaying things from the sideline and substitution patterns and like making sure that game day operation,
which is fine. You got to do that.
But do you think it'd be like any different than say yesterday was? In
maybe
terms
just
of
the
like
flow.
the intensity
maybe
level,
just the
I'm not
flow.
talking about exactly what they do, but I mean,
like, are we going to kick off and we're going to start the drive?
I don't think we're going to get anybody tackled.
Yeah, which is kind of what they did, though. Don't they usually do that? Like they do a kickoff, and they don't go full speed through it, but it was.
Well, they stop.
Yeah.
Like they don't return it.
That's probably the only difference is that it will be.
My guess is we're not going to get any tackling.
No,
it's
like
going to be
live
just
to the ground.
Yeah, I think it's going to be just like practice.
No, I think it's
which is good. That to Fred's point, it's a step up from what Bill used to do. It's like they did last year. Though.
I think that with Vrabel though, that there could be a competitive element to it, and I'm not saying that means tackling, but maybe just a little bit more.
Make it a game.
Let's make it a little bit of a game.
Yeah.
But I think that the pace will be the same, but it will be more controlled of, kickoffs and the stuff we always thought was like, and this is where you stand for the national anthem, and then you go over here, and then at halftime we go out this door.
Fred, it's one of those things, Freddie. Like we've seen a million of these. You know it when you see it. Oh, that's a little different than what they normally do.
Yeah.
You'll be able to tell.
Yeah, I would like to
it's a
see,
little bit more.
because we haven't really gotten to, like, it's 1st and 10 from the 25. We're going to put the ball down. We're going to put everybody to the side. The coaches aren't going to coach. We're just going to let it run. We're going to blare the music. Like, if that happens on Friday night, that would be different and
If
fun.
it's incomplete, does it go 2nd and 10, or do they move it where it was supposed to move?
Right.
You know, that's the kind of stuff.
Yep. Willems and Phillum. What's up, Willem?
Hey. Hey, Fred. How you doing?
All right.
Okay. Congratulations, Evan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just keep the wife happy, all right?
I'll try.
Oh, he is.
It's hard this time of year, but I'm trying.
Right. Here's just a question, and I talked to Evan about this before. So I'll say, you got the quarterback, God willing. You got the tackle, God willing. But you know we're missing. And I talked to you about a certain receiver, and I'm on this train until that meantime. I know it's going to be about 2 years when he come out, but Evan know who I'm talking about.
Talking about Jeremiah Smith?
Oh, jeez.
Yes, sir.
Dude, if the Patriots are drafting high enough to draft Jeremiah Smith in 2 years, something has gone
He's
very
14,
wrong.
though. He's got a little while to
He's
go.
a 2027 draft in
I
Washington, D.C.
I know. We're only in 2025. I get it. But it's just making sense, though, because of how we're trying to get number one, and it's been so long since we had one.
Yeah.
And it just makes sense to me. I don't know.
It makes sense, but I hope we're not in a position to get
Oh,
it, believe
God.
it or not.
If we are, if we're we're picking number one overall if we're drafting Jeremiah Smith. Like,
right, at least right now.
Yeah.
So, like,
Right,
if we're, I don't want to be that bad where he's.
No,
we're
no,
able,
not bad. Not bad, but as far as like us trading up to get him, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, say we got all the pieces and everything, hopefully, and we go ahead and make that big deal. You know, we always trade back, but we never trade up. It's been a while, you know?
I mean, we're talking about for a non-quarterback, like an all-time package to get a Jeremiah Smith. Like, he's...
Right.
It's not just the season that he had last year at Ohio State. Like, he's been on the radar since he was, like, 16. Like, you know, like, he's been ready for the NFL for, like, 3 years. So it's not just that he had the great year last year at Ohio State. You know, he's a generational talent.
You might need the Burrow chase thing to happen.
That's where my concept. Thanks, William. That's where my concept of future picks, being able to future pick a guy and giving up your first round pick, no matter what happens, you've lost it. To be able to say 2 years from now, we want him.
They could have drafted him instead of Will Campbell this year and stashed him for.
They could have taken Baby Gronk in the 3rd round and been like, hey, just wait.
David Main says, have you guys seen any reps with Strange at center and Wilson at guard?
No.
Strange did okay at center last year. Could you see that being the best 5?
No, I don't. I think that experiment's over. But Wilson, yes. Wilson at left guard and center.
Yep.
So we haven't seen Strange at center at all?
No. Not one snap.
Interesting.
They've had Bradbury, Ben Brown, Jared Wilson.
Yeah. I said to Evan too, like I like Ben Brown's size. I don't know if he's really even in the mix or the conversation for that spot, but I just think I like the idea of having a big center with so many tough, big interior guys, and our recent history of guys on skates getting pushed back into the pocket.
There's a chance.
Are you talking about a certain retired?
No,
okay.
Nobody retired.
Okay.
Maybe towards the
current starter.
There's a sliver of a chance that it's Jared Wilson and Ben Brown as the backup center. I'm not saying that we're there yet, but that
you think they might release Bradbury?
There's a sliver.
I do not think that is much of a possibility.
Just a sliver.
Okay. Destiny from Maryland writes in, have you guys heard how Taekwon is lighting it up at Chiefs training camp?
Oh, nice.
Apparently he's been running with the first team offense, and the Chiefs fans are gushing. I love to see the downfall of other fans.
Okay, let's.
But I do wish he pans out.
We have to teach you a lesson about Taekwon Thornton.
This is what he does in camp.
This is what he shines. This is when he shines. It's non-padded practices and stuff. It's nobody gets hands on him. Nobody's gonna actually press him or be physical with him this time of year. And the 4-2 comes out, and he just is last year he was mossing Christian Gonzalez last year in these early practices. This is the Taekwon experience. I've been duped. Don't get duped, Kansas City. Don't get duped.
Well, maybe.
Or do.
You know what? fourth year? Is this his fourth year in the league? Fourth year jump,
Jeez.
maybe?
Wow.
You know?
Very common fourth-year jump.
Life comes at you fast.
New environment,
Thanks,
new
Ferris.
setting, fresh start. Who knows? Maybe you put some pounds on in the right places.
I've never heard that before about Taekwon.
No?
Oh, he gained 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason. Different guy.
Fred's rooting for him.
Same guy.
Sure. Melbourne.
Not really. He's on another team.
Jake in Melbourne. Apologies if it's already been mentioned, but what has the backup 5 on the O-line been, or has it been too mixed up?
I can tell you what it was today.
Yeah.
It was Marcus Bryant, Caden Wallace, Jared Wilson, City So, and Trey Jacobs, left to right. That was your second group today.
By the way, City So had some good one-on-ones.
Yeah.
He had one where
City
he
So
just-
had the best one-on-one I saw yesterday.
Yeah.
He absolutely destroyed Farmer.
Yeah. Just
Joshua Farmer.
ragdolled him.
Yeah. Still doesn't seem like he's getting a sniff at left guard yet.
It's
though.
weird, like him and Layden Robinson are both repping at right guard. And it's like, I get you need to have a backup, but like if they're not going to swing, if you're not going to be able to play
baby.
multiple
Yeah, baby.
positions, like you can't be a one position backup.
Yeah.
On the
That's
especially
exactly what Wilson said yesterday. or
Right.
One of the days this week.
especially on the interior. So like at some point they're going to have to throw them in. If they have real like hopes of them making the team, then they're going to have to throw them in at left guard and see if can they hold up on both sides so that they can be a backup on game day. Otherwise, you're a one position backup, which you don't want to be.
All right, we're going to end it a little early today. I've got some things I've got to do.
I'm busy.
But appreciate everyone watching, listening. Tomorrow, we'll be back at our normal time. No, 1 o'clock tomorrow, right? We'll start at 1 o'clock again tomorrow?
No, tomorrow's Wednesday. No show tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Catch 22.
Catch 22 tomorrow.
From 2 to 4, I believe.
That's correct.
2 to 4.
A little bit after 2 because Bart's busy. So, maybe
little
like,
after 2.
Maybe like 2:15.
Okay.
He's got to write down all the
Okay.
punting
Him-
times.
he has to-
It's Bar's world. We're all just living in it.
He's got to talk to Zoe about practice.
We'll let everyone know. Okay, so catch 22 tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Thursday. See you then.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.